It's my feel-good breakfast show.
Welcome back to it, and we are excited here on your Feel Good Breakfast Show Expresso on S3. We are keeping it all things indie as the fifth movie in the classic Spielberg series does the cinema circuit, and we are here for it. But even in The Dial of Destiny, every archaeologist needs an arch nemesis. Now, enter one of the most evil to enter it, and you know from Doctor Strange, I mean, James Bond, Casino Royale, and easily our most delectable Hannibal Lecter yet, Mads Mikkelsen. Our very own JP Sebastian interviewed him about his latest brush with the baddies in Indiana Jones and The Dial of Destiny, and I might just get my audition tape in there. Come on! Yes! No, that went better.
Mads Mikkelsen, this is the most nervous I've ever been for an interview. I have no poetic way to put this other than, for me, you are one of the greats.
That's very sweet of you. I'll try to behave very well.
If you know some deep breathing exercises, please do let us know.
I think it's just a good trick to breathe in general. Just breathe.
Okay, you tell me when. I sobbed watching another round. I sobbed throughout playing Death Stranding, and now in Indiana Jones and the Dial of Destiny, you made my skin crawl. It was fantastic. Obviously, some of the most iconic villains in history that you have played now. Give us an intro to Jürgen Voller, the bad guy of Indiana Jones and the Dial of Destiny.
Yeah, Jürgen Voller is he's a scientist, and he works in Germany in the 30s and 40s. Obviously, he is a mandatory member of that certain party. But his passion for science might be a little bigger than his passion for ideology. Then when we meet him later, he's all of a sudden working for the Americans on some projects. So he's a man that we do know happened in history when he could erase his past, and the Americans and the Soviet Union let them do that, right? So there we are, and we meet him again in 1969, and he has a big dream of making the world a better place.
Yeah, it was actually so interesting at the start, because you know the certain name of that certain party, which, you know, you should spit every time you want to say it. But at the very start, I did get that sense that, wait, is he just a scientist who picked the wrong friends? Very interesting. Now, tell us, please, the Mads Mikkelsen recipe for menace. Because, like I've said, you've really blown it out the water. There are probably directors going, please, can you do what that Mads bad guy thing? Because you're one of the greatest we've had for bad guys. It seems like you obviously do a lot of holding back when you're doing villains, right?
You know, sometimes. It depends a little. I think, actually, this character does freak out quite a bit in the end. But... yeah, restraint. Some characters have that. Some characters are. It's all in the script. I've done characters that's been very much out there, but if it's in the script, that's what you try to lean up against. And I also try to make them the heroes of their own stories. So because nobody starts out in the morning trying to be the bad guy, they do believe in their dreams, and so that's one way of approaching it.
It was truly, like I said, really, really fascinating stuff, because that was straddling that strange line for me at one point. Now, you, like the rest of us, I'm sure, grew up watching these movies, and maybe you can help me answer what the elements are of this, that Indiana Jones and the Dial of Destiny felt like classic blockbuster stuff. I don't know if it was the propulsiveness, I don't know if it was the timing of the score, the cleverness of the environment and design. What was it like working with James Mangold? What is his way of thinking, and what do you think it is that really, for me, made this a blockbuster that feels classic?
Yeah, I mean, the stories are classic. This is obviously the work of Spielberg and Lucas, and most importantly, the work of Harrison, that he brings a character to life that, in his way, with his charm, that nobody can imagine anyone else playing it. And then he grows older. With the franchise, he grows older, as opposed to when you see a Bond film, we just swap out the Bond. This man, he moves in time with us, right? What is the magic? If we could put the finger on it, we will all be billionaires, right? We don't know. And maybe that is the magic. We can't pin it. Sometimes it just happens. James Mangold, lovely guy. If anyone besides Spielberg and Harrison who knows most about this universe, that will be Mangold. He is a fan, even more beyond that we could ever be. So he knows it and respects this universe inside out. But then he also puts his own fingerprint in there, which is also, again, for me, hard to exactly say what is, but you know it when you see it.
Yeah, it really does feel like it's never self-indulgent, it's never like too much in itself, it's never overly nostalgic. I think the balancing act that you guys got was fantastic.
Well, that's it.
Mads Mikkelsen, thank you so much for your time. It's an honor for me. I can exhale now. And yeah,
You did
thank
good.
you so much for
You
this.
did good.
I'm going to tell my boss that and every other subsequent boss I have that Mads Mikkelsen said I did good.
You did great. Thank you so much.
Man, what a moment. Mads Mikkelsen, my friend. How was that?
Yeah, well, my therapist told me to dress up like this. This has nothing to do with the movie. This is just coping with the adrenaline.
of meeting Mads. What a man.
Guys, no, seriously, like one of the greatest living actors that we've got.
For
So
sure.
knock me off my socks, but
And a sweetheart, just a lovely guy.
you know, and that's some of the greatest sort of celebrities to meet is people who don't give a darn about that word celebrity. They're just humans, people, persons, mentors who are interested in talking with other humans. Nice to come.
Just loves what they do.
But speaking about
that
loving
clearly.
what they do, I want to ask you guys. So Indiana Jones had an indelible sort of fingerprint on our
I think
childhood.
on most people.
You spoke about that traumatizing scene.
Oh, that
Expand on
moment.
that.
I mean, I was a
What was the
youngster.
most memorable?
And I know it freaked me out, man. And in that Temple of Doom, and with a heart in the hand and rip it out. Oh my! It's like it's etched into my memory forever. It's one of those moments that you just can't unsee. But it left a mark, and it kind of just like, oh my goodness. Look at Indiana Jones, and it is a phenomenal franchise, and it's so exciting. And I feel so empowered right now.
Let's
You got the whip. I think I
Dig
spent
into
most
them.
of my
Do you have a
time trying to
memory?
get a whip out. But you know what I loved about it? I think my mom loved it most of all because all it required for me to play was to just go outside and to dig in the dirt and imagine things happening. It created a world around us that was so
private for your mom to experience Harrison Ford.
yeah, exactly. Yeah. Maybe this was the whole life hack there. But if I think about these movies, how that became kind of a narrative throughout, because they've existed for as long as I've been alive. Which means they're a really old franchise, but every time you needed a top-up, you'd get another installment, and you'd go back into that space. I love the fact that it made history so interesting and amazing.
I mean, good grief, you're learning about in this one, the Dial of Destiny is what's called the Antikythera mechanism.
It's real.
And it's real, and its search terms went up by like 50% after release. Even in South Africa, people were Googling Antikythera mechanism, which is the first analog computer that we've had in history. It's remarkable, and I mean, you can see how much sort of I'm alive with the remarkableness of the finds. No, for real, it did inspire a lot of interest, obviously, in archaeology, and even amateur archaeology. But
I love it,
I
man.
mean amateur.
Do it. Well,
I'm so scared that I'm going to hit someone.
and it's a fine art. There we go.
on.
We are cracking the whip today. We are going to continue doing a deep dive into archaeology and find out what that incredible job entails as well. A little bit of adventure, a whole lot of really interesting findings still today. Stick around. We'll see you on the other side. You want to do it again?
No, I'm scared.